we were born before the wind. Also younger than the sun.
I'm not a very social person. I just like to make art
And our bonnet boat was
a
one
lot.
as we sailed into the mystic.
I was depressed and I had bad temper problems, mood swings, and I was doing a lot of drugs and I was self-mutilating. I'd cut my arms and legs. It made me feel a lot better, disassociative, like nothing else was real. I liked the fact that I was wrecking myself. And I got put on lots and lots and lots of medication and it didn't do anything, made it worse. And yeah, eventually I just refused to take it, and yeah, then I met Lucia. My mom was in the room. We were in her little office. She had her dog in there. At first I thought all that energy stuff was just stupid, but she did some of her body talk, and like the energy flow in the room, it felt like I was stoned. Yeah, but I wasn't. If I hadn't met Lucia, I would probably be the same as I was a couple years ago. I'd just be in a bad place like I used to be.
The horse I've had since she was 6 years old. I bought her when she was 6. She's now 21. And she was a show horse and on the circuit in the States and under a lot of pressure. She was trained at a very young age. Her training started at 15 months. And she picked up a habit called cribbing. And it's a very, very dangerous thing for a horse because they can suck in, they grab onto something and they suck in wind, swallow the air, and they can develop colic, severe colic. They also wear the front of their teeth down. So when I bought her as a 6-year-old, she still had that habit and she was wearing a cribbing collar. I went to several vets and they said there was nothing that could be done other than the cribbing collar or a surgical procedure. And then 2 years ago, 2.5 actually, Lucia said, let's try energy medicine on her. And so she came and we did a session and she said, don't put the collar back on, she doesn't need it. And I was very, very doubtful and skeptical and afraid not to, but I did. I left it off and I watched her very closely for several days. She never attempted it. And then I started to push her so that she would become stressed to see if she would do it again. She never did attempt it. And now it's been 2.5 years without it. And she's doing fine. And I'm really pleased.
Jeremy is 6 years old. He's a very busy little boy. He sometimes goes to sleep with an idea and wakes up with that idea in the morning and has got to get right on it. He's a prolific Lego builder. We feel that he's quite brilliant. He's definitely got a very, very gifted mind on his shoulders, and just needs to channel some of those energies in a positive way.
He's an ultra sensitive child, and his reactions to things not going his way can be quite explosive and very loud. He doesn't seem to be able to keep friends for a long time because the children say they don't want to play with him because he hurts them, and it's been a little roller coaster for him emotionally that way too. We have just spent time at the pediatrician as he was diagnosed directly as ADHD.
The option of putting Jeremy on some kind of medication to control his behaviors at school and that sort of thing is something that we consider to be the absolute last option of last options, and we're hoping that by exploring all other routes, Lucia included, that we're going to be able to avoid that entirely.
Kind of hoping that she'll be able to awaken that emotional part of him and subside some of the extra strength in him.
Well, I've been raised around horses, so I'm 61 years old, so good 60 years, maybe 55. By hanging out with them, you start learning about all the interactions amongst horses. You've got to live with them just about to see it. So I have over 100 head of horses for me to live with them. Well, I met Lucia quite a long time ago, and when I met her, I was shoeing horses as a farrier, and she kind of had different ways about she did things. She mentioned these things, and she had these neat ways with dogs. And then we got together more with horses, and she came out to a clinic here about 3 years ago, and then we really got talking about how horses communicate. And she has a knack of reading that horse in a different way. So anyways, she came out here and wanted to hang out, and she talked about a horse that I had always a problem getting through to emotionally. She just couldn't handle rubbing and whatever, and I spent hours on, like hundreds of hours, trying to overcome this horse. And it's a challenge for me, but I wanted to overcome it. And she came out, and we were sitting in my workshop and having a tea, and she looked at this picture. I was talking about Rabbit, and the horse's name's Rabbit, and the photo and the registration was sitting there. And so she did a session over this horse picture and registration like she does, and didn't say much. And then she told me that this horse had a problem with thinking she was separated from her body. And then we started talking about it, and she asked me to, when next time I went out to see her, to go out there and talk to her, and told me what to tell her, and I did. And this horse made an amazing change. I mean, she'd come up to me and lets me rub her. I don't have to catch her to rub her anymore, and
Hello,
she just wants to be around. So there had to be something that went on that I missed. I mean, I'd love to know it. So I'm going to get to know Lucia better so she can help me understand horses better.
I believe more in doctors and stuff where they give you medicine and make you better. Or, you know, you got a sore muscle and they fix you somehow there, painkillers or whatever, you know, or they do therapy on you. But this stuff where they don't touch you or do anything, you know, it's just the energy thing. Well, it's just hard to believe in. And I grew up religious, right? And my wife's growing up more spiritual, you know, like believing in not just religion, but I mean, she believes in God and stuff, but more of a spiritual thing. And I think this is closer to what maybe Lucia's doing than, you know, me believing in God.
Cord's really active and overactive sometimes, so and you know, Tori believes in what Lucia does and stuff, and I said, yeah, if you want to take the kids there, I don't mind. And so I guess that's why the kids are going to go and see her and just see if she can help them in some kind of way, you know, calm them down, or maybe it's just their mind or whatever, or maybe it will calm Cord down a little bit and make them a little more handleable.
I feel like something trying to push my hand back to there.
Yeah, kind of like a magnet pushing. That's energy.
Ow!
It's weird, eh?
This is fun.
It's very magnetic. Can you see it? Does it have any colors to it?
Looks like your hand is turning green.
So it's green energy. Nice.
Mine's turning green too.
Yeah, because it has the same energy. So energy has a frequency, and the frequency has a color.
Well, kids are truthful, you know. They can be mean, they can be sarcastic, they can be, well, they're just very truthful about what they say. And, you know, it showed there that he wasn't putting it on when he said that, you know, he seen a color and he could feel the energy and his hand was tingling. And yeah, I mean, you gotta kind of believe in that then.